You had the chance in opposition to be a parliamentary secretary. You never ranked, never got to leadership or into the ministerial wing. When you split away from the Liberal Party, you weren't able to get a lot of people on your coattails elected to state or federal parliament. So how do you look back at your career, and how will you define it as being a success or otherwise?
Well, other people will define it and how they want to, mate. In the end, I'm extremely grateful for what I did, for what I've done, the experience I've had. And if nothing else, I opened up lots of conversations. I remain true to my values and principles. People will make judgments about, whether they were right or wrong, and whether there were injustices or good fortune. It didn't matter to me. In the end, I never complained about it. I never played the victim. I never said, woe is me. I just got on with it. And one of the great things, mate, is my integrity is intact. I feel very comfortable with who I am, what I've spoken about. And if there are regrets, they're very few.
Two final questions about those that will speak to your legacy. How do you feel about the things that you said in the lead-up to and even the years preceding what eventually happened with same-sex marriage? There are those that will quote lines from what were and weren't being said in the parliament. Do you think that, or is there any other issue where you think you may have gone too hard?
Mate, I don't think I went too hard in any issue. I mean, if you go back through it, people were critical of me for belling the cat about the climate change nonsense in 2009. They said I would destroy the Liberal Party. In the same-sex marriage debate, I spoke truth to many people's concerns. And let me just say this, Paul, that the words that, I know that you and others actually, quite frankly, were critical of, were simply twisted and distorted. No one has been out there and said that Peter Singer is some twisted, creepy maniac. It's just people use what they want to use for their own purposes. And if it wasn't for Malcolm Turnbull and Christopher Pyne and others trawling through the gallery trying to ginger up all this problem, things might have been different. But they're not. You can't have regrets about this stuff, and I've never backtracked from anything I've said, mate, because as I believe it, I strongly stand by my convictions, and people can make their own judgments.
Well, speaking of, I'll cop it for saying this. So we well and truly disagreed on that issue, but we've agreed on many since, and I'm very pleased that you're a mate who's been on this show for some time, and fingers crossed will be so as a private citizen into the future. Congratulations, mate, on a good innings, and I look forward to cheering you on in and out of the Parliament for the next couple of weeks and then for many years to come. Pauline Hanson, is the Parliament better or worse for no more Cory Bernardi?
Well, I'd like to know what deal's been done with the Liberal Party. What posting are they going to give him? So he's handing the seat back to the Liberal Party. So I've got to say, is it Norfolk Island administration or where? Where are you going, Cory? What are you doing?
I'm going to Coffin Bay to do a bit of kiteboarding and fishing, Pauline. I'd say this is the thing. One of the things, I mean this quite genuinely. I've never been a deal maker. I've stood by what I've done. I've never looked for outcomes for myself. I've never traded my vote to try and get something else. I've tried to do the principled thing. And right now, the last 6 months, I've wanted to see this government succeed. It's time for someone else to do it. And you know what? There are a couple of front runners that have been mentioned in the press to replace me, and either of them, in Jocelyn Sutcliffe or a chap named Maury Bales, would be outstanding. I think Maury Bales is probably the best credentialed candidate I've ever seen, so I hope he wins. If Jocelyn wins, I hope she, congratulations to her. She's a great lady.
Rita, how do you feel about no more Cory Bernardi in the federal parliament?
Well, the federal parliament will be a little less colourful. I always hope that with the miserable ghost gone, that the prodigal son was going to return back into the fold and come back to the Liberal Party now that they'd got rid of the main reason why he left them in the first place. But that wasn't to be, so good luck to him in his new adventures. But we'll all be watching. If there's some cushy appointment coming up, we're going to notice.